welcome back. We are now at the point of the process where all of the heddles have threads through them. So why don't you come and take a look here. Okay, and I have slip knots here, but I'm going to pull those out. And if you can look and see, if you look down here, there's the foundation of the fabric, which are the chenille threads, and those are on these 4 shafts. And then the ribbons, if you look and see, they're going through these heddles that are on 5 and 6, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the warp. We're gonna straighten it out a little bit, and we're gonna attach the warp to the back of the loom so that we can beam it, okay? Now the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna make a series of overhand knots. I'm gonna take a group of threads. I'm going to really bring my fingers through them and make sure that they're all parallel to each other, that none of them are super long or super short. And then I'm going to tie a slip knot right back here. Not a slip knot, a full knot, an overhand knot right there, okay? I am counting the number of threads per bundle, which is not critical, but it's kind of nice. Weavers like to count things. So I am counting things. Combing them through with my fingers. They're all pulling out to about the same spot. And then I'm going to tie an overhand. Okay? I'm just going to keep working my way across. Any ones that are a little bit short, if I give a little pull to, should get stopped by that same tight tie in the front of the loom and end up at the same length, which actually does matter. There's a short one, pull it, it'll just stop in the right place. And this will get out most of the inconsistencies all the way to the end of the warp, which is where these knots are. It's the last thing I'm going to get to when I'm weaving. And the cleaner the warp is, the more that I'll get to use. I'm really going for everything being parallel and perpendicular, so the threads are coming straight back from where they are in the reed. Where the reed position them. I'm just bringing them straight back here. And then when I attach them to the back beam, I'll be careful about making sure they're directly back from where the heddles are. Okay, so everything here is tied. Come around to the front of the loom. I want to show this to you. If you remember, we kind of had a mess here before, but look at how that's evened out. Every thread is really at the same length here. Every thread is pulled out, all right? At this point, what I'm gonna do, back there should be pretty free of knots and tangles and things, but just to make sure, I'm gonna remember those knots are back there, so they are not gonna go through anything here, but I'm gonna give this a pull, right? And that's, in case there's anything that was inconsistent back there, it's pulling it all the way to the back. So come back around here now. Okay? And now these knots are right up here. And everything forward of that knots, which is really, forward of those knots, which is really everything, is clean and organized, parallel. I'm not gonna lose anything. I'm gonna put the loom back together again. Remember we had taken this bar out? Put the bar back in. It's really important that the warp goes over the bar. A lot of times new weavers will accidentally bring it straight around this bar. Okay, this is the bar that I tie onto. Again, I'm making sure all the cords are parallel, perpendicular, the bar is fairly centered. This is called a tie-on cord. Okay, I'm gonna do what's called lashing on. So come over here. Okay, I'm gonna take my knot, bring it towards me. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna use it as a loop. I'm gonna take my cord, go in from the bottom of the loop, pull that knot so it's right at the bar, go around here, grab the next one, open it up, bring the cord right through. Next one. And then I'm going to tie a knot here. It's really important that this knot does not slip, because while it won't be a problem through most of the warp, what would happen is at the end of the warp, right, if this knot wasn't tight, this would put pressure on it and that would slip back and I'd have uneven tension across my whole warp. Okay, so here we go. Everything is now tied onto the back. Okay, and if you come around the front, what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to wind it around that back beam, okay? All of this is gonna go forward around that back beam. And I'm gonna now take out this tight choke tie that was so important, okay? And I'm holding the warp. Knots have a natural direction, and if you look closely at the knot, can you come in here close? If you look closely at the knot, you can see that this one is coming out of the bottom, this one is coming off the top, right? So if I hold this and I take this bottom one and I bring it around, this whole thing will uncinch. And then again, now this one's up, this one's down, hold the warp, pull it around a little bit. If that doesn't totally do it, take this one. This uncinches. I am now ready to beam.